In the beginning, marriage did not used to be this difficult. In the earlier days, a lot of matchmaking was done, and a lot of people back then got married more due to commitment than just feelings. So things like legacy, there were also economic reasons. And so marriage then wasn't something to be taken casually, even in the matchmaking days. It was something to be seen as a very serious business. And many people, even I was interviewing my grandma a few months back, and she was also matched made. Interestingly, this is my grandma, and she happened to then like my grandpa, and they moved on, got married, gave birth to 6 children. And if I'm calling you if I'm calling her my grandma, it is because you know, here we are. Like, she gave birth to my mom, and here we are. And similar stories across different generations where I have asked questions of different families. And yes, there were pros and cons. But one of the things that my work has had me doing in the past few years is really revisiting those methods and seeing how a lot of times the baby and the bath water, it was not thrown away, it was buried. Everything was buried. Like, people did not want to know. So we moved from that space of matchmaking and all that, and because people moved across different cities, villages, it wasn't just no longer the communal kind of living. People were moving, relocating, and so they started to meet other people that they felt butterfly for when they were with them. And that is okay, because that is also great if you are willing to do the commitment part. And so what we started to see is that yes, some people were willing to do the commitment part, and they understood that the butterfly could be retained if the commitment level was higher. And then for some people, it was butterfly, and then when the butterfly flew away, there was nothing left there. And unfortunately, have a lot of divorces or people growing up with separated parents and so on and so forth. Today, I want to talk to you about 7 trends that you should pay attention to, or you should be aware of, at least on the journey to meeting your husband. 7 trends that we can now see with single men in this day and age. And like I usually reiterate, I'm not talking about men who don't know what they are doing with their lives, or that those are not the men I'm talking. We don't talk about those are not people. If we're talking about future husband, we're talking about people that don't know what they're doing with their lives, or people hurting women. Those ones are not future husbands now. They look like future husbands. We're talking about God-led men. Number one, and I think I have a brief of a video. Maybe the video is not brief. Me, I don't rush my content. I try as much as possible to share depth, because I'm not building for the algorithm. I'm building for legacy. I'm building for lives. And good luck with the algorithm. Mine is to put out the content that you need, and the solution. It's not just content, it's solution to the answer to the questions you have in your heart. So what are some important trends that you should look out for? I said I have 7 here. Number one, like I started in the beginning, it wasn't always this hard. But one thing you should now pay attention to. Don't say, oh, the way your auntie did it, the way your mommy did it. Times have changed, seasons have changed. The way single men were wired then in their mindset and their thinking is not longer the way they are wired now. Yes. So these are some mindsets about single men in the 21st century that you should be paying attention to on the journey to meeting your husband. Number one, men are now building fulfillment in other ways, and marriage is no longer that deep. You know, there was a time, and that's why I say in back then it used to be so simple. There was a time when to be married as a man, there was just such honor. Like you're a married man. There was just such, in fact, I know that I've seen one or two conversations about it, even saying that it even used to influence the pay that a man would be given because he had a family. Don't know if that's how it still works, but the point is there was just honor attached to it. Let's even outside of money now, there was honor attached to being married. And just even in the community, oh, that man is a married man. There was just something. And so no pressure, but people were single to aspired to get married because it's like, yeah, there's just this value. Oh, that's his wife. He's leading this home and things like that. But as time went on and the people of the world started to water down the importance of marriage, and even started to say everybody has the same role in marriage, a different conversation, not for this video. The thing just started turning into something that was no longer a do or die affair. Truth is, everybody does not have the same role in the marriage. You are equal because you are great in God's sight, and as a human being, as a woman, you are created by God. But in the context of the marriage, the man is the head of the home. The person is not willing to not just listen to that, but also follow it through. It's going to be a chaotic marriage. And what happened is that people started selling all of these fancy ideas that made it look like, no, the woman could lead. And it started looking like men leading their homes was suppressing women. And I understand because some men then then they don't some men did not understand what leadership meant. They thought leadership meant shouting, everybody being afraid when you're walking in. Hey, he's coming. Woo, woo. And the whole thing just messed the whole concept of marriage up. It's not about being afraid. It's not about holding your breath. He's coming, no. And it's not about 62 meats in the plate. These are some of the things that people saw and started to change the narrative, just that they went overboard. And that's the thing with this world that we're in. A lot of people don't know how to do things in a balanced way. They will push it till it tilts over. So yes, I acknowledge the fact that a lot of dangerous things. Some people would even beat their wives in the name of the head of the home. They will not listen to their wife, or your wife will get a great opportunity. They will tell their wife that he cannot work or he cannot earn more than him because he's the head of the home. That's why I started this is we talk about God-led men here. But you will say that even a lot of these men were in church. These men we're talking about, all of them were in church. So why am I saying this and why did I start with this? I started with this because it is important to understand that it is true that leadership has been abused by so many men that had no idea about they abuse the privilege of being a leader, but it doesn't mean that the principle of marriage has changed. So what some of these younger boys then, who are now men now of marriageable age, saw and started to see in their generation is that, yeah, some of their fathers were not responsible, but it's almost like the girls of the generation who grew up, girls their age, and then of course are now matured and ready to get married, are wanting to get into marriage to take revenge. Yeah. And you can see that in the news. You can see that even in the way a person talks about marriage. Me, I don't want to be stressed though. Nobody and I'll get to that. Just like if you're not ready to not be all about self, don't get married. It's actually not a do or die affair. Even Jesus said it. I'm paraphrasing now. You don't have to get married. The part where Jesus was talking about marriage, and it's not a thing that you must get married. No. There's a part where it's like, hey, listen, I'm paraphrasing. It's not a thing, no. It's even a call in self. It's not a thing you just enter. You just be like, wow, yeah, like I must marry, I must get. No, it's not do or die. It's not a requirement for salvation. And I'm letting you know that that is the disposition that some men are now taking. The only problem is that some people are not doing it in righteousness. When Jesus spoke about and was speaking about marriage, and so we see in the book of Matthew 9, I wanted to quote the scripture where Jesus is having this conversation to them about divorce and all that. And the disciple goes on to say, hey, if the relationship of the man with his wife is like this, like if this is what you are teaching us to do, it is better not to get married. And Jesus goes on to say, but he said to them, not all men can accept these statements, but only those to whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born that way from their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who were made eunuchs by people. And there are also eunuchs who made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom. The point is, Jesus was teaching a more excellent way to lead marriage. And this is important. You can go later to study Matthew 19. This is important because this is buttressing the point that as we are sharing trends on the journey to meeting your husband, my stance is the stance of Jesus Christ. Nobody is sharing that you should not have a voice or you should not. It's just for you to understand these things and understand the spirit behind them, just as God has ordered, and know how to discern and distinguish it from what a person is treating with pain and hurt versus the right thing to be done. And so men are now finding fulfillment in other ways and literally taking Matthew 19 seriously because, it's not the heaven and the earth. It used to be nice to have a girl that we like and marry her and lead our home, serve in our homes by leading and just being with somebody who respects us without looking out there. But in the world of social media, that's why I continue to reiterate Dr. Cindy's dream statement of the world we're going into does not exist anymore. Back then, people hardly compared their husband. People hardly used a different kind of eye to look at their husband. Now, with just one button, you can compare your husband to what that one's husband did for her. Oh, my husband did this on my 40th birthday. Oh, my husband did it on my 30th birthday. Oh, my husband. So, oh, this is how my, and you see people putting video, oh, this is how my husband prays, this is how a man should lead, this is what we're talking about. And a man that is deeply spiritual but doesn't pray the way the influencer has put her own husband to pray will feel like a marriage is crushed because a marriage is finished because our own husband is not praying like the influencer's husband. And it is interesting because we then now have all of these standards and men are becoming increasingly weary. And so where a single woman absorbs these things from the internet and she's sitting with a guy and she's asking, oh, do you pray? What she's really asking is not if he understands prayer, if he has the spirit of prayer, if he loves God and enjoys spending time in his presence with him by himself or with his family. What she's asking is, can you pray the way influencer, if I call a name now, I don't exemplary names. Let me see if I can call any. It may even still look like so. Honestly speaking, influencer X. Let me just give an example because before it will look like it's an example, but it will not look like a coincidence. I may not even know the person, but it may be that there's somebody like that doing that. But the way influencer X is portraying her husband, that's the way the woman wants the man to pray. And you've got to stop that because spirituality is not measured by how influencer X said that her husband is praying. Different people in different homes with different things. And one of the greatest things I'm so happy about is the access to older women who continually give me wisdom, things they will not come and utter on social media until you ask them. And they share about a lot of things that are happening in their home. That's even if people on social media that are following them, they will not believe it because they feel like, this is what is going on in their homes. Well, like it's not really what is going on, but their home is spiritually grounded. It's not in the way you are seeing it, it's not in the way you're like, hey. There's no one method to it. So some men are getting weary because that's what they're just like, you know what, if you want to compare me with everybody on Instagram, you may as well do you. Isn't that the hashtag? So they are now finding and building fulfillment in other ways. And so the marriage topic continues to get postponed. 43-year-old, 44, 45, they're just growing older and older and building more businesses and speaking globally around the world. Trend two, men are now more interested in women that will support their dreams and not just women who are all about themselves. You know this thing when a woman feels that she's valuable because of the degrees that she has or the brands that she has worked with. So therefore, because of all these wide accomplishments or even the money that she has in her bank, because of all these wide accomplishments, she is the value. You cannot determine how the I have to laugh because you cannot determine the value of what a man chooses as a God-led man who is going to lead a home, what he chooses to see as the value. There are many people that I have now heard talking about how these are not the things that make a man marry a woman. But women will not listen. And there's nothing, listen, you can see this is a YouTube certificate from program I participated in, and I've got a couple all over my library. And so I am committed to growth. So this point is not about you growing or hindering your growth. Please listen to what I'm saying. It's not about you not somebody halting your growth. That is not what this video is about. What this video is about is that if you grow because you have a calling, you have a conviction, you have a, it's not the certificates and all that and degrees, it's not a prerequisite for being a good wife. It's just a pointer and it's a part of the thing of showing that you are a persistent person, a consistent person, a disciplined person. But it's not that you now pack all the certificates and I say, oh yeah, these are the things that makes me a good wife. No, a man, and I recently created at the time of making this video for men wives map, and trust me, it's not certificates and degrees. Now those things can point to the seriousness of the woman with her life, and that is very important because it means that she's going to take your work seriously. How you do one thing is typically how you should do or how you would do many other things. So it's important to take care, it's important to pay attention to that. But when a woman's life is only all about the certifications and that's what she wants to use to force the hand of a man to marry her, then she's no longer in reality. I have to just give you the update. So a lot of times, this is what women do. Then they're building on this, and it's fantastic because this is great work you are doing. But beyond you, men, trend two is that men want to know that you are living beyond yourself. You know, you can build so many things and just be like, oh, I just love the people I serve. I just love them. I just love them. But it's really all about what you are building. So, the men, the God-led men in the 21st century want to be sure that would you be interested in also partnering with them, building with them as well, beyond just your own dreams? This is not to shatter your dreams, reduce your dreams, or shame your dreams. That's not what this is about. But this is about understanding that marriage, the equation for marriage is selflessness. Are you willing to take in someone? Some people, and I need to bring this in, some people are so used to being maybe but in their space, controlling the things themselves. And that's another friction, especially with singles 30 plus and above. They're so used to being on their own, their space, calling the shots and all that. They find it hard to coexist with each other. They can't even have a simple conversation without a person trying to show the other person that they know it. And this is the beginning of chaos. And this is one of the reasons why people were just rather staying. Some men want to build with successful women as well, but they see that the woman only wants to receive. The woman does not want to give. Trend number, and I can just go on and on and on. But yeah, we've got to move. Trend number three. Men are now more interested in women who are vocal and show that they're interested in building a family and are truly interested in prioritizing the home front. So there have been conversations where women will say things like, well, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm not going to wash plates. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Have that conversation with your sister off the camera. But these are not things to put out there, because even though I understand what you're saying, a man may watch that and may not get what you mean. Now, a lot of the power women that you follow, when they got married in the first years of their marriage, they were doing a lot of these things that you feel like, I cannot even do it. I cannot even do it. I cannot even do it. They were doing it just to show that, hey, I care for you. And I have a video on cooking, cleaning, and the conversation in between. Maybe it will link it up to this video on that. So I'm not going to get into that deeply here. Go should cook, go should not cook. But what I want to say is, it is how you see it that is the problem. If yourself and your husband, you're just starting your home and you're deciding that, okay, in 1 year or in the first year, we want to just bond together. We are an older couple, older as in you got married like in your older years, and we want to just spend this time together. So let's cook, let's clean, and let's do this thing together. I mean, it is not a big deal if you guys have the time. Oh, it's not a deal. It's not a it's not a fight fest. It's not a, like, I think it's the perspective, because this is the core of serving. Oh, once you come and you start saying, me, I cannot do it. Oh. And same thing for the man. Oh, it's not that we're excusing the man, that the man will not be like, I cannot, but he wants the woman to do it. Oh. I cannot do it. Oh. The fact that you already are fighting against it as if it's some sort of punishment shows that you have the wrong mindset. If you are a big CEO in a big company taking care of the regional branches and you get married, you have a commitment to your home, whether you're the regional manager or you're the global manager. This is the reality, especially if you are in the first few years of your marriage. You need to build the right foundation. First 10 years, first 7 years. You are comparing yourself with other regional manager boss women who have been married for 25 years. They've laid their own foundation. They were not regional managers when they got married. So they could do a lot of things and could multitask. Now, they are 15 years in the marriage. But of course, why should you be talking about who is washing plate, who is cooking, who is that? They are no longer there. But know that they've laid the foundation, they've bonded with their house. So however it is that they did it to get to the point where they now have 12 cooks. But you, because you are in the regional manager, executive role in your workplace, you think it is the same. You are so like you are. Let me explain it to you. You are in level 20 in your career, but you're in level 1 when it comes to marriage. So you've got to set your foundation right. That's the problem. You want to use the level 22 that you are in your career space to come and use it as the same thing in marriage. No, you're in level 1. Come to the reality that, hey, it's like a person who, because you are 50 and you got married and you've just given birth. You're 50 and you've just given birth. You are a new mom. What do you want to say it again? You're just an older mom, but you are a new mom. A person who gave birth at 20, who is now 30, has a 10-year experience more than you, and the person can school you. What am I trying to say? We've got to get this thing right of what you say. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, like, calm down, and stop just listening to the external. Stop. Like, I just did think this conversation, I don't know why it's so much of a struggle. If marriage is a place where we serve, then you have a conversation with your spouse and let's talk about the things that matter. There are some men, it's not that they want their wife to suffer or anything. To each his own, because every single husband has different things that matters to them primarily. Some men is the cooking. There's nothing, they will stand by you or they will support you, but they just want you to cook their soup XYZ time in a week. They obviously know your schedule, they know you may not be able to cook 247, but say that, oh, you delegate it all, that you will not, they won't even see your break lights. They are not really comfortable with that. And so a compromise can be made that can solve the problem. As a matter of fact, while you are cooking the soup, if that is your man's thing, or I'm just saying there are other things, factors. It's not always cooking. It's just that this is the most popular one. You cook it, you freeze it. I mean, they're just ways to manage this. They seek wisdom. It's not a thing to go out there and go and start shouting and go and you are bringing the career ladder that you are in into marriage, and you're not there. Do not compare your marriage with somebody who has been married for years, because both of you say you are boss ladies, or you people were in the power 100 list. You're in the power 100 list when it comes to career. When it comes to marriage, you are in the mentee lists, learning to know how to get things right and how to build the foundation. This is the reality that successful single women need to tell themselves to get to a space not of smallness, but a place of realization, so that you get equipped with what you need and you build a balanced life. You need to introspect with what I've said. I'll stop there. Trend number 4, men are now more adamant about their conviction and execution. And this shows in this I want you to travel here, I don't want you to travel here. There's a lot of, because a lot of people are scattered in different parts of the world now, the man would have a vision and the woman will have a vision, and they'll be in different parts of the world and they'll be arguing and be talking about how will you come, will you not come to this country, come to know. And some people don't even have a reason, plus the man or plus the woman, they don't even have a core reason why they're in the country they're in. But there we face it, and they were now wondering who is going to come to which country. And some people, just because of location, they did not get married. Nothing, oh, nothing else. So it's just a trend for you to talk to, pay attention to, and you want to ask yourself, because typically the wife will follow and be led by where the man is headed. So if you feel conviction about this man, it doesn't matter what it looks as if you are leaving behind, it is going to pay off. But let God speak to you. It's not that you say, oh, I sacrifice for you. And let it be a God-led conversation. But yeah, any woman that is not willing to check through with God to say, hey, you know what, okay, what do you have to do there? Let's see how we can work things out. But it's all about the woman only wants the man to follow her. Like it's causing a bit of friction. And I know where people go to when they say, oh, what about XYZ, this person, she's in the XYZ position in the world, this, that. How many years is she in marriage? Tell me, how many years is she in marriage? Did she put, I know different names that will be coming to mind. Before you go to start, how many years? The next trend is men now have alternative sex avenues. And it is interesting because we're talking about God-led men here, but you still see people in spiritual spaces, sisters in spiritual spaces. So I know this conversation is becoming, people are beginning to have conversations now who who think that hot sex, revealing cleavages and all that is the way to hold a man down. It is not. It is not. It is not. And I really commend the brothers who are really following Jesus Christ, because we have a lot of people living in sin when it comes to this fornication thing. But if you are even thinking, I mean, I don't want to believe women in this community are thinking like that the solution is to increase your sex appeal. Maybe if he likes your body, he will keep you. I just want to remind you that there are now various sex avenues. So no, that's not what is going to keep you at all. Trend 6. Men now view money as a priority before marriage. Loads of it. And this is due to what I put here as the insult trend. We've seen increasingly, at least at the time of recording this video in the last 10 years, where men who don't have as much with certain women get abused and insulted. And of course, thanks to the blogs and all these people that are pushing this social media thing, drama all the time. A lot of fear has been generated in the hearts of men and women. There are things too that's been generated in the hearts of women, heartbreak and all that. But this is for the men. I'm teaching about the trend for the men. So men are like in the previous so many stories of power couples that we have now who didn't have it all together. They had each other, they had a conviction, they had a dream, and they decided to go ahead. Now, men do not think it is enough because even from the conversation that the woman is having, she's already sizing him up. I'm talking about pre-relationship conversations, already sizing him up based on what he has. She's already feeling like his bank account is what will determine. And so sometimes some men are not even asking women out until they load their account to it. So they're not setting targets before they reach out to a woman so that they don't feel insulted, because there has been a rise in insult of men who do not seem like they have it all together in recent times. And now this is not the rule to all. It doesn't mean that, oh, this is now happening, because I'm sure there is somebody somewhere, even this year, that will still marry with not so much money in their bank account, and they will make it 10 years from now, they'll share their story. But the point is, it is an increasing trend where people are now looking at the pocket of a person to determine their value. So men are like, me, I don't want to be insulted. So when you say some people are saying that they don't even want to ask the woman out, they've not reached their targets. It's not that they don't want to. I know that it's a serious thing, but you need to pay attention to these trends. They've not reached their targets. When they reach their targets, they would ask, they are going to ask the woman out. The seventh trend is, there is, especially in the Western world, when divorces happen nowadays, whatever it is that causes a divorce, I don't want to get into whose fault it is, whose fault it's not. When divorces happen, it looks as if that a lot of times, from cases that have been put out there, all of these things are out there and people are seeing and following, either through documentaries and all that. It looks like the men suffer. There are even cases, even in Nigeria, the country where I'm from, where you see that a divorce has happened and the man's child has been kept from him. Like, he's not seeing the child, he has not seen his child in years, and he's calling out. He's just going to the point he's talking about it on social media. So it now looks as if the marriage doesn't work out, the man is on the losing end. If they've had a child together, they will suffer. For some people, yeah, the money part, the part where the woman has money, the money may not really be a big deal, but it now looks like withholding the child. So there are all of these things that looks like, yes, the woman is stressed, and there have been conversations about addressing life after divorce for the women. But while that conversation is there, there's also an increasing conversation and trend where it looks like, oh, the man is losing, he doesn't get custody, child is taken away from him, is sold as a monster to the child, even if the divorce had nothing to do with anything abusive and all that, all that. So that is helping to, especially in the Western world, is helping to make some men really think deeply. And of course, some of them, it is fear crippling them. But you have got to now understand this trend so that even when you communicate with them, you know how to communicate. What's the essence of sharing these trends? I'm sharing these trends with you so that it helps you to know how to have conversations. And when you come into the one-on-one coaching with me, I will share with you specifically according to your design, your situation. That's the essence. It helps you know, okay, how do I now interact, and how do I understand these things? Take for instance this whole wanting a woman who prioritizes the home. Many times, many women talk about their brands and all that, and when it comes to marriage, they talk about this is my value, and they still talk about their career and career and career, and how their career, as if it's the career that is going to be used in the home. But not many people even sell themselves on the home front, the importance. And I'm not saying get a picture to get what for high-end photo shoot until before you know you're sending a message. But there are ways you can get into conversations. There are ways you can pull up case study to talk about your desire and your interest for the home front. Many men are looking for that now because it's just like everybody is just trying to be a front lane woman out there who wants to pay minimal attention to the home. And they're wondering, okay, so how is this going to work? Let me just leave you in your career, because if I come now, they will say she was successful until you came. I can't remember. There was one, by the way, just by the side, there was a gist I was hearing that, oh, a the way people think. I think that we are the architect of our own problem. I was just hearing a person who does analysis talk. Me, I didn't even know. So apparently, an artist from my country, a female artist, got pregnant and she's married to another artist. And I saw the post. I was happy for them. Celebratory post, I thought, and I moved on from there. Only for me to see an analyst analyzing the comment section. What was he analyzing? He said that people were saying that the woman's life. This is an artist that is still successful. At least I still consider her very successful. But the analyst, only for the me, I didn't even see all this. It was the analyst, of course, who sat down with the post and all that, that said that people were now saying, I think must have even pulled up some posts that I found it really funny that the male artist came to dominate and take over her life. That she's there getting pregnant. I'm just paraphrasing. No, I'm not saying these are here, but the whole idea is she's there getting pregnant. He's there rising in the ladder. And I was like, I don't make it make sense. Like, I don't even understand. Like, getting pregnant, success. I mean, is till today. If you understand it, please put it in the comments. And this is the mindset and mentality I'm talking about. So the analyst was talking about it. But till today, I'm still trying to understand. Like, I don't understand. Getting pregnant and building a family is a beautiful thing. Why would you think that the husband, first of all, they are not in a competition? I would hope not, but they don't seem like they are in, because they're in the same industry. But I would hope that I would, like, building a family is a beautiful thing, is a priceless thing, is a privileged thing. That is huge success. But you see, people are not counting the fact that this woman is pregnant for the second time as a successful thing. Rather, they are only looking at how a music is streaming, how many views. That is what success means. So, do you see the issue, and do you see how a lot of people are thinking in these generations? And do you see how the trend, why it is making men act the way they do? That just came to mind, and I found today I still find it interesting because I'm just like, pregnant, success, lack of, and I don't even get. Building a family is one of the most successful things you ever do. And that's the problem. So men are now looking out for those things. If it looks like it's not a thing to you, you don't think that building a family is successful, they don't want to marry you. Keep building your career. Yeah. So you may want to communicate. You want to communicate. And these are things, the how to is what I'll help you privately. I've given you a couple of great resources here. So when you book a one-on-one session, we can talk about the how to, like how can you communicate it without looking like where do you even start from? Okay, I've told you now to communicate. How do you want to communicate? Because yes, to your brand and all that, but it's not only about your brand and your face. Next thing you wear a dinner and not show your shape. That's not all. These are some of the things that men are looking for before they slide into it. It's not men day, as in godly men day. But before they slide into the DM, they want to be sure what kind of spirit is this person carrying. And lastly, as a bonus, I will add that a lot of men are also now using dating sites. Yes, a lot of men are using dating sites to meet their wives. So many examples. I may have even featured one here on my page. So this is a thing that is now happening. So they are going to serious sites, and they are finding ways to meet women who know where it is that they're going, because they believe that if a woman is there, she probably is on the journey to meeting her husband and is ready to do it in a serious manner without feeling like, oh, he's running after her or is disturbing her. Because some people send them a DM, it looks as if you're trying to ask them for mentorship, or there's just this weird thing now where people just categorize people into things, especially based on their numbers. So some men who do not have numbers like the powerful women, but they are powerful men in their own right, are finding other avenues. So it's not that I'll send you a DM on Instagram now, you'll be using the number to judge me. And somebody can argue and say, it means you're not confident. It's not necessarily so. That theory and that thinking is not correct. So that's not the case. So it's not always the case. You're not confident. You're no. It's not always the case. It's just that the self-respect. You too now. You say it too. This self-respect thing, people have taken it to 200%. Selfishness have now entered self-respect, even in Christian personalities and with Christian people. Selah. I think we have had a blast in the last 40 plus minutes. Let me know which trend stood out for you, which one you want to pay attention to. You should be paying attention to all of them actually. But there may be one, two, three that you believe that, you need to really work on this one. Talk to me about it in the comment. Check the description to find ways to communicate with me. Okay, one-on-one session with me. I'm a professional licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been doing this for over 10 years. There's a lot more you can learn about me on my website, www.sagenel.com. I'm Sagenel, committed to helping you meet your husband and meet your wife. I'll see you in the next video, but you can see me on previous videos that you may have missed. Thank you for watching.